Welcome, everyone. Let's just start with some deep breaths. So, deep into the belly, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And maybe put your hand on your belly so that you can feel the belly expand with the in breath. You can sigh, make sound on the out breath. You are encouraged to do so. Now, rather than keeping your mouth open and sighing, see how it feels to breathe out through the nose and hum while you breathe out. It's a way to find calm in your nervous system very, very quickly. I use it a lot. And I've shared this before, but I'll share it again. There's been studies that we release a small amount of nitrous oxide when we do that. So, the chemical or the laughing gas that dentists use with the mask. There's a small amount that is released when in the nose and in the brain when we hum like that vibration for whatever reason causes a release of that, and so it has a calming effect on the nervous system. So let's just try that together. If you're able to make sound where you're at, it reminds me of bees actually. So when you breathe in, you're breathing into the belly, and then the chest fills as well. And then when you breathe out, it's like, hmm. So you're making this humming sound and you're feeling the vibration in your face. And ideally, over time, you're noticing if your jaw is tight and you're just letting on the out breath that jaw kind of vibrate and soften. So you can go at your own pace or we can do it together. But I find too, one thing I do with some of my closest friends is when we hug, we'll do this in breath and then we'll hum. And there's something about hearing the other person's vibration. So I don't know if it works over Zoom, but it feels very regulating when it's in person and I can feel their vibration, they can feel mine. And yeah, there's something about it that feels really comforting. It felt weird at first for sure to do that, but now with my closest people, we'll do 3 deep breaths like that whenever we come back together and hug. So you could try that if that feels comfortable or not. All right. So anyway, I'm going to breathe in and you can come with me if you want or go at your own pace. Breathing in. Mm. See how the hum travels down the body. Mm. Mm. Good. Notice what you notice. So that was just 3 breaths. See if your nervous system is any different than it was before those 3 breaths. And again, this is new. So there may be like a sense of, oh, this is weird, or I don't want to do this, or so there might be a lot of mind stuff that comes up. Totally normal, no big deal. Just welcome that too. But see if you can notice, is my nervous system different before and after? And what I was noticing as I was doing it, and maybe it's different for you, but what I was noticing is it felt like the hum like traveled down my body And at the end, when almost all the air was out, what I was noticing is that I was contracting my belly to get the rest of the air out. And it felt like the hum went all the way down to like the low belly and maybe even like the sacrum, the pelvic area. So see if it may be different for you in your body, but see if you can really close your eyes maybe and tune into where do you feel the hum in your body? Where do you feel that vibration in your own body? And if you're in a place where you can lower your voice and make it louder, you might be able to feel it even better. But if you're not, you can hum quietly. I was feeling a little dysregulated this morning at the YMCA as I was exercising and lifting weights, and I noticed that I was humming just out of habit to like calm myself and was doing it quietly. So it can be done anywhere. Maybe people think I'm a little bit weird. I'm like, well, whatever. So anyway, let's hum again together. Breathing in. Mm, mm. 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 On the next one, we're going to do three more, and then we're going to just sit in the silence for a moment and just notice the kind of the after effects of the humming. See what you notice after the humming and the silence. And also pay attention to your jaw and your mouth as you do this and see if you can invite your jaw to just soften and relax. Not everybody, but most of us hold a lot of tension in the jaw. Maybe even just give your jaw a little bit of a massage right now. I hold a lot of tension up here in the temples as well. In the face. We just hold so much tension in the face. So you can make some weird faces with me now. Yeah, and see if you can get your fingers right up in there into that jaw muscle. How about you? But it feels good to me. Okay. Roll your shoulders, roll your neck. Just kind of helping prepare the body for meditation. Whenever I just sit down on my cushion, unless I've been in a really calm place for a while, like at a meditation retreat, I need some preparation. Okay. So we're going to hum. We're going to do three breaths, humming on the exhale. And you're going to pay attention to your jaw softening, and you're going to pay attention to the feeling of the vibration in your body. And then we're done. When we're done with the three hums, three breaths, we're just going to go inward and just sit and see what you notice. Just notice the silence. And we'll do that for several minutes, and then we'll just go right into the meditation. And I'll just give intermittent instruction like I usually do. But we'll start with these three hums and then silence. And again, the encouragement for meditation is always to be sitting comfortably or lying down if you need to today. You can stand up if you're super sleepy and you don't want to fall asleep. Some of you might use this as a way to fall asleep, as a way to find nervous system relaxation. That's fine. Do what you're needing to do for yourself today. All right. So when you're ready, breathing in. Mm, 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 Noticing your jaw and your mouth. Noticing if that softened. And then there may be this way that the jaw kind of naturally tightens up again. So see if you can be with this part of your face. And with each out breath, just continuously inviting a softening. You may even inwardly say the word soften as you breathe out. It's not a command because we can't force the body to do things. It's an invitation. And for those of you that your jaw is already soft and relaxed, you can invite the body itself, the entire body. You may imagine the breath going to a tight place in the body, just being with it as it is. And then on the out breath, you can whisper inwardly in your mind, soften. It's very loving. The quality of the invitation is very nurturing. It's not harsh or command like. And the invitation is to do it with the recognition that the body has its own time. We can't force things, but there are ways that we can kind of release muscle tension. And it may be easier to do that. Actually, let's do a little round of like contraction and release with the rest of the body. So in a moment, I'm going to have you tighten the muscles of your entire body because it's easier to know what relaxation feels like if we first know what contraction feels like, full contraction. And if this isn't good for you, don't do it. It's an invitation. So you're going to take a breath in and then you're going to contract all your muscles in your body. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to hold for a few moments, however long you want. And then when you release, you're going to release with an out breath, and the entire body, you're going to allow it to soften. So it'll be contract after the in breath, hold if you want to, you don't have to hold, and then soften with the out breath. All those little muscles that have been held tightly from stress, we're inviting and we're helping the body to soften. So breathing in, holding the breath if you want to, tightening all the muscles of the body, contracting the arms and legs and chest and belly and pelvis and feet and hands, and holding as long as you want to, the face as well. And then out breath, soften, release. Feel the release. And just breathe normally for a moment. And preparing for another contraction if this is helpful in your body. And if this doesn't feel helpful, then don't do it. So breathing in, full breath in, and then contracting the entire body, holding as long as you want, and breathing out when you're ready and softening. Noticing, breathing normally. You don't have to, your breathing and your breath hold should not be aligned with mine. Go with what feels good in your body. Preparing for another one if you want to. If you've had enough, then stopping and just breathing normally. Breathing in, contracting your entire body, all the muscles, the face. When you're ready, breathing out and softening all the muscles, releasing, feeling that whoosh, jaw softens. Breathing normally, finding your own natural rhythm again, but still trying to do the belly breathing. So breath is going deep down into the belly. Belly expands with the in breath. Belly is soft and belly softens with the out breath. Belly button goes towards the spine. Now taking a moment to notice what your mind is like today. So the invitation is to be in your body. We just spent some time helping you pay attention to your body, helping you get in the body, feel the body. So from the body and from this place that can just witness thoughts, just notice, what's the mind doing today? Is it hung up on something? Is it repeating something, ruminating? Is it planning? Is it remembering something that happened? Or anxiously anticipating something about the future? Is it still? And seeing if you can not make one way of the mind being good or bad. In so many forms of meditation, we say, they say you need to quiet the mind. Today, we're going to do it a little differently. We're not going to try to force the mind to do anything. We're just going to notice, okay, what's here today? Can I just allow my mind to be super busy if that's the way it is? Notice judgments if you're like, my mind should be zen, my mind should be still or quiet. What I have found in practicing is that when we try to force the mind, it's kind of like a little toddler. It gets kind of cranky. It doesn't like to be told what to do, at least my mind doesn't. So it's more like you're witnessing and being with the mind in the way that it is. And you're just leaning back a little bit. It's almost like you're taking your mind in your hands and all your thoughts. You kind of like imagining you kind of take your brain out, stick your brain in your thoughts. Gently, you're holding them in your hands, cradling those thoughts in that brain, and you're kind of just holding it out in front of you. So the witness is here in your physical body, and the thoughts are a little bit out there. The brain is a little bit out there. And you're just kind of watching. Oh yeah, look at my mind today. Much like you would a child, a little child. Yep, my mind is worried. Oh, my mind is ruminating about something. So rather than getting controlling and upset and kind of tight about it, if that's happening, just notice that too. We're seeing if we can take a little bit of a different stance with the mind when we meditate today. We're not fighting it. We're just like, okay, mind, you do what you do. I'm in the witness. I'm gonna watch you. Times I'm gonna get sucked in and I'm gonna like be in my thoughts, believing them, believing the stories, believing the judgments or ruminations. And as soon as you see that you're like caught or at one or like enmeshed with your own thoughts, it's not bad. You're just going to imagine taking that brain out, holding it gently in your hands and holding it in front of you and just watching it go by, watching the thought train. And you keep the breath, or if you have a mantra or whatever you use as your object of focus, whatever the mind is doing, it's okay. We just are watching it. You're connecting with the part of you that is always witnessing everything. We're tapping into the witness. And the witness doesn't care if the mind is busy. The witness is just, that's the way it is today. The witness is okay if there's emotions. The witness sees, feels the emotions. But let's come back to the mind. I don't want to get too complicated bringing in emotions at this point. Let's just do the mind for the next several minutes. So we're really with the idea of this being that you're inhabiting is always witnessing, even when you're not in touch with it. And we're imagining either taking the brain out or imagining the thoughts out here in front of you somewhere. And you're just kind of watching them go by. When you get caught and you forget that you're breathing or you're doing your mantra, then you just gently sit back into witness, start seeing the thoughts again, or the silence or the stillness or whatever it is, and you reconnect with your mantra or your breath, or maybe a part of the body that you're focusing on as your object of focus. So let's do that together for several minutes. I'm going to be quiet so you can just get into that place where you are connecting with witness. You're tuning into the sensations of breath that connects you to the present moment or whatever object of focus you use if it's not breath. But if it's breath, you're feeling the sensations of breathing as it moves through your body. Maybe you pick the nose or the chest or the belly, or maybe you follow the entire length of the breath in and out. Just paying attention to what is easiest for you today. And you're just witnessing, allowing the mind to be as it is. Witnessing thoughts, back to the breath, expanding your noticing now to whether there's any emotions here. And maybe that's already happened for you, or maybe the emotions are more subtle. We're not digging, and they may not be challenging emotions, they may be uplifting emotions, but the intention is the idea is for you to see if you can meet yourself exactly as you are today, your mind exactly as it is, and with your emotions exactly as they are. And that doesn't mean white knuckling it through, deep sorrow or grief. It means touching on an emotion if that feels helpful in this moment, touching your body if comfort is needed, just seeing what the emotional tone, and there may be many, many emotions all at the same time because we're very complex human beings. And seeing if you can just, if there are many different emotions, seeing if you can just allow all of them to be here. And just like with the thoughts, we can feel the emotions in the body and then also imagine that we're breathing into that part of the body. You might even imagine your breath going right into the part of the body if the emotion is located in the body. If the emotion feels outside the body, you could even do what we did with the thoughts and sort of imagine the emotion out here. So you're witnessing or practicing coming back to the place of witnessing. And that doesn't mean that we're pushing away emotions or bypassing them. It's quite the opposite. We're allowing ourselves to be just as we are. We're leaning in. But we're doing that in a way that we're connected to this central thing. We're connected to the stability of the present moment through the breath or through a mantra or through focusing on a part of the body, or some other object of focus that you use. It's so welcome. You're focusing in, I'm just going to say breath for ease. You know from now on that I mean whatever your object of focus is. You're focusing on the breath. You recognize an emotion. Just like with thinking, it can feel like we might collapse into an emotion. At that point, come back to your breath. You imagine that the emotion maybe is like out here in front of you. You're witnessing it. If it really feels like it's in the body, let it be in the body, but maybe comfort yourself. Maybe put your hands on your heart or your throat or your belly or wherever it is. Maybe you're rocking or squeezing your upper arms in a hug. So it's not stoicism or bypassing with emotions. It's witnessing and nurturing, witnessing and comforting. And if at any point it feels like too much and you're like, I don't want to do this right now. And you compartmentalize and you say, okay, this emotion is for later. You can imagine putting it in a little box and setting it up on a shelf. And sometimes emotions are so big that that's not possible. And then we can let ourselves cry or do whatever we need to do to express them. And that is so welcome right now, too, if you find yourself crying. If you need to hum, take good care of yourself as you do this. And you can imagine that this community of now 69 people is, we're all in this together. So taking these next few minutes to allow the mind and the emotions and the body to be just as they are while you reconnect again and again to witness consciousness via the breath, via the present moment. Some things you touch in the body, some things you might want to imagine out in front of you. Let's practice in this way together. Invite you to complete the meditation with me. If you want to make sound, we'll finish with 3 ohms. And just like before with the humming, the invitation with the ohms is to feel the vibration in your body. So breathing in, Om. 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 May the fruits of our practice spread outwards in all directions and help to end the suffering of all beings everywhere. I'm sending each one of you so much love, so much care. I hope you have a beautiful day.